Welcome to Golden Glory. I'm Miles Eversley. Thanks for joining us. In this series, we continue to celebrate our golden athletes as they prepare for participation in this year's Senior Games. In this exercise, we have been reintroducing you to a number of our senior athletes, those golden folks who are leading the way in terms of active aging and promoting healthy lifestyles through their athletic activities. This week, we are delighted to welcome another one of those golden athletes. Her name is Sandra Murray. What of her initial introduction to sporting activities? Could you begin by sharing that with us, please, Miss Murray?
Of course. I was blessed with 5 brothers. And whatever games they played, I was right there. Because we played rounders. Then my favorite one was rolling rollers. You know the roller, you had a steerer. Right. So we used to argue first thing, so the boys were there, so clearly I was one of the boys. So I remember a lady used to call me Miss Clinton Boy Child. Clinton is my surname. And we would argue, my roller is the fastest, my roller faster than yours. And you arguing. So then you say go. I mean, the go you call with this roller. So it was a case of getting this straight. You were just running around. We all playing batting ball, as we would call it, because that wasn't any real cricket. So those were the games that I really enjoyed playing out there with the guys in my district. It started at school, my secondary school, where we used to be involved in games at that time. And during the athletic season, I would just compete just to give my house some points. At that school, we didn't really have a structured athletic program as such. So we just, all right, games time coming up, we ran it for our house. So I would just compete in any event that I felt I could manage. And that included both track and field events where I would run the 100, 200, those two. And I did a bit of long jumping. And also I did a bit of field events where I experimented with the javelin and the shot put. Coming up to my last year in school, my last 2 years at school, we had a games teacher who came to the school, a very popular lady, Miss Hall. She was the one who then encouraged me more into it. And I remember my last year at school, I was actually responsible for the team. I was the captain. I don't know how I got there, but then we had competed running at the stadium. Yes, I remember that clearly. We used to have competitions on Saturdays, and I remember we used to go on Saturday evenings and get involved. So it was basically, it was a 2-4 and a bit of throwing. That was it. And that was just my last year at school. But after that, that was it. That was the Allen School. And Miss Hall had come to the Allen School to be our games teacher. She encouraged me to do a bit more. And then again, at that time too, because I was also the head girl, you did not refuse to do anything. You were told, because you're a leader, so you had to be a leader. After school, there wasn't anything else, because you know you were now finding a job and so on. I taught for 1 year, then I went to Erdiston, and there was, well, that was a compulsory, that was on the curriculum, where you had to play games correspondent to what you would do in primary school. I trained in the primary school section of Erdiston. It's because when you go back to the school, it was required of you to get involved in sports, especially in primary school. So I played volleyball, and surprisingly, I was the captain of that volleyball team again. Ask me how I got there, you don't know. We played volleyball, and well, athletics was there. So again, you got into running for your team. A couple of years after studying, I used to do some early morning walks. I'm the kind of person that I just love outdoors, enjoying the fresh air, the breeze, the quietness of the morning. And you know, you would pass people on the road, and this guy said to me one morning, you know, I see you walking on mornings, would you be interested in joining a club? I said, no problem. That was in 2009. I was introduced to my club, BAMSAC. So it's from there that I really got started. When I first joined, I used to do the walks. Anytime we hear of a walk somewhere, we jumped in. But then the coach at the time encouraged me, now Sandra, you could do more than walking, man. Come, you can run. So, like the obedient child as usual, I started to run.
And Sandra Murray's track record speaks for itself. Let's learn of her first experience of our National Senior Games.
It was quite interesting. Well, you were nervous because they say, well, competition coming up. So I just did the 5K walk. You know, you can't leave out my walking. I did the standing broad jump. Then I did the 1, the 2, and the 400.
In the 55 to 59 age category, Ainsley Lovell, Phyllis Gill, Sandra Murray, Betty Murray, and Pearl Yearwood.
I would have placed in each of those events. Persons really attended, you know? So the atmosphere was a very good one. Over the time, you got to involve the other persons you meet, and you always look, see this person in my year group this year, or, you know, you keep watching, you keep eyeing your competition. Then you start to get more serious into your training, because we used to train, but you know, you didn't put in that kind of effort. But over the years then, I got more serious and so on, and I tried my best to keep at it for as long as possible. I mean, to the point where presently in my club, I am one of the assistant coaches. I also train a group on mornings. Up to this morning, I was up 6 o'clock. There's a group of persons who cannot make the evening training, so I'm responsible for the morning training. So what I had during that period of joining BAMSAC, I did 2 courses in coaching, so that I would be more knowledgeable in what I am doing. Another thing that we got involved in was resistance training. We normally try to do a lot of reading on elderly persons and how your body degenerates and so on. So I remember I was the person who was doing more weight training because my children encouraged me into weight training. And then as we went along, what I used to do, encourage the other members that when we were training, it used to be Saturday mornings. They would say, all right, could we get some 5-pound weights? And each you know, it'd be light to walk with. You walk with it, and then we did some slight weight training. Then we used to use our surroundings, wherever they are. You do step-ups, you know, using body weight. And we look up for other body weight exercises like doing squats and lunges, you're doing step-ups and push-ups. That was strictly body resistant, because as you know, as you go along, your muscles start to break down. From the time you hit age 40, hope you guys are doing some resistance training, your body starts to deteriorate, especially in females. So I had a chat with the club members and we introduced some weight training for our seniors. Well, in addition, my background is nutrition. I taught nutrition at secondary school. So I also used to do some sessions with the athletes on eating habits and nutrition and how to look after your body and so on. Another thing too, which I always tell them is, even if at some point any member says they ain't competing anymore, I tell them we have to continue with the exercises and weight training, because look at the things we do every day. We pick up heavy bags, we walk with them. You know, there's a farmer's walk in exercise where you lift 2 weights and you weigh. So what's that? We walk with grocery bags in our hands. We bend down to lift up things, what we call deadlift. You don't want, as some people say, oh, I went to lift up this thing and it threw out my back. Back injuries are the last thing. I'm not saying that because we do it, we would not get a back injury. But as long as you are doing resistance, the chances of you getting injured doing something like that is drastically reduced. So the objective still, outside of competing in senior games, keep our bodies healthy as possible for everyday living. And that's what I always tell my people and anybody that I'm talking to. Because sometimes you talk to people and people say, but Sandra, but you are not a big person. What do you exercise for? Are you not losing weight? It is not losing weight. It is maintaining my body, your muscles, your bones, tendons. Tendons are involved as well. You are maintaining this to help you in your everyday life. That is what it's all about. So outside of senior games, everyday living.
The Senior Games embodies the promotion of a healthy lifestyle and active aging. What about those record-breaking moments and participation in international competitions? What about the record broken in the US National Senior Games 4x100 meter women's relay in 2022?
Boy, that was a hot one. It was last year as well. My track wasn't the best that I had done because, funny enough, last year I picked up an injury and I was out training for a couple of weeks leading up to the Senior Games. So I still then went into the Senior Games, local Senior Games, nursing an injury. But then in 2 weeks' time I had to travel. So I said, I'm going regardless. So the performance wasn't what I got like 4th and a 5th in the finals. But the thing about those overseas runs is that sometimes here you may just have 8 people to compete with. Now down there you're looking at heats. And you're looking at 40 people because it was the American Nationals where every people from all the states. So even getting to finals is an achievement. Because I remember those races, some had in 40-something and things, so they had to do eliminations to get you to the final. However, with that relay, it was out of this world because I said, we going home. I told you, others even before we left, we got to get a goal in this. The year in front, we had won it. Our time was one of the best. And I tell them, listen, these people coming for us. We got to carry home this goal. So you know you were gunning. So we had, there were 4 of us in Pearlie, but she started the relay, although she was slightly injured. Then it was handed to Beverly Beckers on the straight. She also had a slight injury. The curve was my run. And that was it. When I got that baton, I'm not boasting, I knew it was all over. And I just took off with everything in my life and handed to Beverly Walters. And when I handed to Beverly Walters, and I stood, took a while for some people to come past me, and I said, cut it. You know? So that race was, and it was again another record. So we felt very good about that. So, and what I had loved about that, those really said people, I was training on mornings. So I said, the hard work paid off, you know? So that was very good. So we are hoping to keep that. Because let me tell you something, those Americans come from it, and when they hear Barbados, they don't like it very much. So we intended to be going for that again. So imagine, the funny thing, it is Barbados only, and the teams that team up are from parts of the States. You understand? Because it was their nationals. So they look for their fastest people, and they look. It's not like they have their little group. They look for their people from the States, so it's the States against Barbados. So that is something that we plan to keep working on. Funny enough, you know, walking is different muscles again, but it's just something that I love. I remember I told you that when I started out, I started doing the walks and so on. It's a long journey. It's just as opposed to you run 100 and that's done. But for me, I just love walking, you know? So I like to be involved in the walk. It's something about it that I just love.
Ms. Murray's enthusiasm and excitement for these exercises are encouraging. Her experiences offer valuable lessons from which we may learn. Thankfully, she has seized these moments and learned from her wonderful experiences. She now shares with us the enduring benefits of an active lifestyle.
The social aspect, still being able to carry on my love. I was a teacher, you know, once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher. I was a teacher by profession, and it helps me to still do that, pass on knowledge. I will go back and do some research and check this and to share with my athletes. And also I know that I'm keeping a group of people who are close to me. We are all keeping healthy. If there's any little niggle or any little thing, you know, we come and talk to one another. I get a little knee something where you think that is no, I'm no physio, but sometimes I share my experiences, you know. Any little niggle you get, you share. Like, for example, you get situations where the average person will get a little pain here. Oh, this thing doing this, I'm doing this because I feel this way. We talk about things like that. What we experienced, how we dealt with it. You went to a physio, the physio told you this, and you try, and you work out, you know. And to me, it's something that I look forward to on mornings. Getting up, going out with the athletes. I'm knowing that they are keeping their bodies healthy, our eating habits, and so on. They're keeping healthy, and I know I am part of that, helping to keep a group of senior people healthy, as well as myself. I don't let them give up. A perfect example, one of the persons were talking about a little knee stuff, and I remember I was told, all right, do some walk backwards and do a little walk backward up the hill. You got to strengthen the glutes. So, you know, you see how we share, it's about sharing what knowledge you have. Not that it's, if he doesn't think, you don't go and get professional help. but you share your experiences. And then it's good to see people work through things, they're not giving up. So that's what I like about what I do. The camaraderie, the social aspect, the sharing, that togetherness. And if only we can get, as seniors, if we can get people, little groups, doing things like that, I think our aging population would be a lot more improved than what it is, you know. So that's why I take it. I remember sometime back, I was discussing with someone, I have a group at church thing, and I was suggesting, because I said, "But Mary, you they're active and so on." So I had no problem. I'm willing to help. But then I said, you know, 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, we got to be up. And then like, oh, too early. Do this. But you want to be out there early, fresh air, without the road being polluted. This morning, I trained. You went out this morning? You had all the early morning air, nice cool air, you're not in the heat of the day. You know, and you feel good. It's a good feeling. So if I could get more people out there doing this early morning thing, getting the body going, get moving, get moving, get moving.
Well, the invitation has been extended for more of you to come and be a part of the daily activities that support a healthy lifestyle. The games take place this year, May 5th to 20th. Sandra Murray has been a regular competitor. Will she be competing this year?
Of course. Of course. Of course. Yes, I will be competing. So how would it look that I have every morning when 5:30 I'm on the road training my athletes, and then I don't go and compete. As long as I am injury free and all is well, I will definitely be competing. I haven't decided on my events yet. I'm hoping that the 5K can be included in my events. And in truth and in fact, I like little competition. I love a little competition. Whether I win or not, I just like the competition of running and so on. So you can guarantee as long as I'm in good health, I will be competing.
And we will be there to cheer on Sandra Murray and all competitors at this year's Senior Games. Well, this is what the Games are all about. Friendly competition, being the motivator for your fellow competitors, and being a winner by competing in an event. Thank you very much, Ms. Murray. Golden Glory continues next week at the same time. I'm Miles Eversley. Thanks for your time.